Welcome back to Worship Tech Tour. In this episode, we are at Coastline Community Church in the beautiful Sunshine State of Florida. In this video, we're gonna walk you through their entire audio, video, lighting setup. We're gonna geek out over all of it. They've got an amazing Allen & Heath mixing solution. They've got DNB PA. They've got a Chauvet lighting rig. They got some cool solutions for mixing, for broadcast, an awesome drum enclosure. So we are gonna cover it all in great detail in this video. So let's dive in. All right, here with me, I have Mr. Brad Alden. He is the worship pastor, director. Tell us a little bit more about the church and the space that we're in right now, because this is a relatively new building, right?
Yeah, it's this building, I believe it opened in 2018, so we've been here going on 5 years. And my wife and I have been creative and worship directors for 3 years.
I know you guys reached out to an integration company, obviously helped you out.
Yeah, initially it was Acoustics, and later they've been acquired by another company in Texas.
Got it.
And we've worked with Armando from Wave, and a few other people to help us kind of get to where it is today.
Well, one thing I definitely notice as I'm looking around the space here is there's no lack of acoustic treatment, so you guys can see plenty of panels all around the back of the room, even on the edge of the balcony there. We got front of house up there, so you can kind of get perspective of where most of the tech team is at. The room overall has some liveliness, which is nice for, it's still congregational worship. You want it to feel like a live environment, but it seems like there's definitely a good amount of control that you have over the acoustics here. I think it was about a year ago was the first time I visited, and you just were kind of asking me what my thoughts were on the sound and kind of the mix that you guys were able to achieve in the room. And my biggest tip I had was, hey, like the drums need some sort of isolation.
Right.
Because that was probably the biggest acoustical issue. So it's really cool to see this drum shield set up over here. All right, so tell us more about this enclosure. Which one did you guys choose, and yeah, why you landed on this?
Yeah, we were recommended this enclosure. A guy named Slade Goplin makes these from Goplin Enclosures. This is their G4, and then this one has also a back with 2 separate doors, and it has a fan inside and powered lighting rigs and positioning for microphones for overheads and things like that. So this has been great to minimize 25 to 30 dB of sound, which, as you mentioned before, was impossible to mix in such a shallow room.
Man, this door, it really, is it magnetic? Yeah, it's like, man, it's firm. It like really closes shut, like you can feel it.
This guy makes these things legit.
There's plenty of places to mount lights in here. We'll talk more about the drum set in a second. But this is that door, guys, I'm talking about. It's like it basically seals shut. And it's not like gonna accidentally come open, which is important. You don't want a bunch of audio, like the door coming open accidentally, a bunch of audio coming out. And then we get this like ventilation system, in-ear control, a little Marshall camera. Get the sub-snake for the drum inputs. What is this kit?
This is an SJC custom kit. Pastor Anthony, our associate pastor, is actually also a drummer. I met him actually playing music long before he was a pastor. And he picked this kit. He likes it a lot. It's big enough, not too big, sounds really nice. We use Remo drum heads. We're close to the Remo company.
Okay, custom cymbals.
Yeah,
dark crash.
Constantinople ride, which is that. These are all but the left side crash are new, literally in the last month.
Light hi-hat. Yep. So I'm imagining these probably just help the tone to be darker, kind of washier, not gonna be piercing through the mix. Yeah.
And again, some of this is trial and error with the new enclosure.
Yep.
But others who are using this kind of enclosure kind of recommended some of this, and it's worked out really well.
So the snare, we just looked, it is a big black bob. It's a funny logo that it has, but you guys can look it up. And then I see you guys are using Allen & Heath for all of your in-ear monitoring systems. Let me clean the dust off of that for you. Go ahead and just give us a rundown of your tracks right here.
Yeah, basically we're just running it off of MacBook Pro, Ableton 11. We're using One Audio, was recommended from the people at Multitracks. Works really well for us as an interface.
Is this like one of your music director stations?
This is
right
a
here?
Music director, Mike, yeah. And this has kind of been a great tool, this PB5.
Yeah, Optigate.
Yeah, it's been great just to kind of simplify things for the MD and avoid noise.
Yeah, I love that. They were recently a sponsor of the channel, so giving Optgate another shout out here.
There you go.
You guys can see that infrared light triggers on as you move in front of it, and then it turns off. So it's kind of an automatic noise gate solution. Walk us through this keys setup here. Looks pretty simple.
This is simple. This is a Nord Stage 3. This was here when I got here. I want to get a weighted set of keys really soon. This is great for sounds.
It's the Compact 73. So I do like how small it is.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess I've never encountered one of these guys in the wild yet. I see you got a relay here.
Yes.
So this is controlling a device backstage that basically changes the channel of your microphone.
Yeah, it changes the output of my vocal mic. If I push this button and hold it, my voice will speak to just whoever we've assigned it to, which is the band in this case. So I can be an on-the-fly second MD.
Nice.
So it's been great for us.
Dude, what guitar are you running right now?
Brother, I have two McPhersons I proudly play and enjoy. Changed my life. This one's a Koa wood back and sides with a Sitka spruce top.
That's pretty.
Yeah, the back's gorgeous.
Man.
I'll show you.
Yep.
And then if I knew you were going to get into this, I would have brought the other one. I made one with McPherson that is a California redwood top and a rosewood back and sides for like when we're playing a night of acoustic worship. It's got a darker, deeper, richer tone. So this isn't good for the budget, but it is good for the ears. And what's cool about these guitars is they have the cantilevered neck maybe like a cello would have.
Yeah.
So the tone is insane on these guitars.
More the in-ear microphones up here, again for vocalists for the most part.
These are all for vocalists.
How many vocalists do you guys usually run on a Sunday?
Typically we have 6. Myself and my wife pretty much every week.
Yep.
And then at least 4 other singers, but also that's just an independent singer, but also the keyboard player will occasionally sing, or another acoustic player will sing. And
it's handy, these guys program your names on them so you know what mix you're pulling up.
Yeah, and even within the tracks, for example, this is assigned to tracks. Push the group and you can see the synth, guitar, BGVs. You can pan them left and right and you can control each level. So if you want a custom mix of even the supplemental stems, it's helpful. So we've done that. We do the vocalists the same way. Each vocalist will have their own channel. You can adjust how much you want to hear of a certain person.
Got it. So really your like lead vocals have you have your own channel.
Correct.
But then like all the backup vocalists, they can still come in here and select, they can still find their individual
channel.
Mic. Yep. Okay, got it.
The weekly volunteers will rotate and we'll just update the name, who it is.
Yep.
We also have in our MD a group, so we have a flow mic that the pastor keeps out front. So if he wants to keep going on something, he might talk in my ears and the drummer and myself can hear that.
Yep.
My talkback, the relay you saw up front, that's got a level of its own. The talkback for the drummer. So it's really helpful.
I've never looked this closely at the ME-1 set up here by Alan Heath, so that's great.
This is a House Helix. My good friend Tyler Logan, who's my songwriting partner, he recommended this and put some programming in it. Our guitar player Mark also has a Helix, so sometimes we're dual Helix.
Before we continue on with the video, a quick word from our sponsor, the Worship Ministry School Accelerator Program. You may not know this, but in addition to all the YouTube content we're creating here at Churchfront, we also partner with local church worship and production ministries to help them hit their ministry goals. Over the past 4 years, we've worked personally with hundreds of worship ministries around the globe. We've helped churches navigate upgrading their worship tech, building better systems to grow their team of volunteers, as well as address any knowledge or skill gaps required for modern day worship ministry. When you join the Accelerator program, you get access to our entire library of online, on-demand courses, and you get unlimited access to our team of Churchfront coaches. To learn more about joining the program, click the link below this video to apply and schedule your free strategy session today. Now let's get back to the video.
Hey, everybody, meet John. John what's your role here on the team?
Front of house engineer.
Front of house engineer. So walk us through a little bit more about your audio system. What's the PA that you guys are using?
Okay, it's DB audio for the PA, and those are the S24s for the front. There's 3 of them. They're 75-degree horizontal, 45-degree vertical. There's front fills underneath this scrim here on the stage, and those are, I believe, the 8S's.
Okay.
Underneath here, there's also 5 21-inch dB subwoofers.
All right, so we're backstage, and let's take a look at the brains of the audio system back here, the mix rack by Allen & Heath. So, John, walk us through what we are looking at.
Okay, this is a DM64 mix rack, so we got 64 inputs and 32 outputs. It's kind of hard to see with the patching here. Okay, these are the dB audio power amps underneath it. They're the 30Ds. 1600 watts times 4 into 4 ohms.
I see you guys have your Dante card.
That's correct, plugged into the mix rack.
Back here.
And this should be the Giga Ace here that goes to broadcast. And we try to do the patching physically because we're going to Logic, and every time we change something in the I/O on the board, it has to be changed in Logic. So we found that just doing it physically here, we can keep all the assignments the same. This is where we do the patching for the ME monitors. So this is all the outputs, the Cat5 outputs. So there's 10 of them, but we typically run more than 10 boxes, and you can daisy chain from one box to another if you provide a separate power supply. This is the DPA capsule with the de facto. It's on a ULXD stick, and this de facto capsule is the soft boost, which gives you a little bit of high frequency boost. The other one that they offer is linear, which is more flat response. KSM9. Another DPA, this is not the de facto, a little bit lower line. I forget what the model is on that. DPA2. KSM8, some 58s, beta 58s.
The convenience of having everybody's in-ear pack in the same charging unit as their wireless mic. Makes it very easy for vocalists to come back here. And you got headset mics, you got the ear headphones right there. I love having toolbox organization backstage here.
The other mics that we use are the SEV7s. We like those because they're hypercardioid, so they can help control stage noise.
Ultra HD Seville Classics toolbox, if you guys are wondering.
These, I'm proud of these. I don't know why, but these are hooks that they use on sailboats. And they hang lines because, you know, in a boat, everything's swinging and moving.
Yeah.
So I found this to be a perfect application for cables. We've got some in there. But it's a real good way. Bunch more over here. Can't have enough of those. This is DLive Director, and I can do almost everything I can do on the Surface up there. Right from here. Real handy when setting up on stage. You're chasing down problems, bad line, bad cable. Yeah, this is an awesome tool. This is the Allen & Heath DLive C3500 Surface. This is also DLive Director.
Oh, cool.
Right there, what you see highlighted in purple, that's what's going over to broadcast. That's the mix that he's mixing over there. So we're sending front of house mix, we're sending that over to there. And then they can also adjust that. So if you see here, the front, he's got front, left, and right, not a lot right now. That's the front, left, and right. That's the house mix. So he's using some of that in his mix, but he's supplementing. Everything you add is in addition to the house mix. So you're just adding, you're supplementing the house mix.
Got it. And then the SQ is kind of the last layer before it gets sent to
and that's where the
broadcast.
audience mics get mixed in. So there's Logic, and that was last Sunday's recording session.
So this is how you guys can like train folks, do virtual sound checks.
Can do virtual sound checks, and also re-record if they want to do something with it later.
Welcome to their broadcast mix room. We've got the SQ5 we were talking about, and we've got Max, who is the one actually operating the setup. So that's the DLive Director software. Walk us through, Max, like what it's like on a Sunday, like how you're controlling the mix here for broadcast.
I'm getting the house mix from John. So after that, I'm adding anything the mix is missing because taking it one-to-one doesn't quite work. So I'm mainly adding in drums, bass, guitar, a little bit of vocals, and the vocals come in dry when you add them, so I have to add vocal effects. And then after that, it's getting sent as one stereo channel to the SQ5. We've had lots of issues with transients causing clipping, so I've had to add a couple of limiters and compressors here.
And then you got these Atom audio monitors.
Yes.
I'm guessing they sound
Very nice
awesome.
speakers.
Do they sound as good as they look? Because they look pretty awesome.
Yes.
These are Venue Flex panels that they have here. They also have them in their media lab. And then eventually the goal, Brad is filling me in, is to have Waves set up to be able to run Waves sound grid alongside the broadcast for like vocal tuning and all the fancy plugins from Waves. So you guys may or may have not noticed that in this tech tour, there's actually not like a full-time production director here at this church yet. And we actually wanted to let you guys know that by the time this video is being published, that they're probably actually going to be actively searching for someone to fill this role. So I don't know if you want to speak to it. What type of role or person are you looking to fill this type of role? What would it entail? But let us know.
A production and media lead would be great that would sound first. I want an excellent audio engineer, someone who can set things up before they need to be set up for each ministry, make sure all the equipment works, maintenance, just kind of that guy. And the church is really growing, and there's a lot of events, so we really need somebody who understands broadcast, front of house, lighting, video, all that stuff.
All the things, all the Churchfront things.
Exactly.
So, hey, I'm tempted to apply for the job.
Come on.
Just hearing about it, but I'm not here all the time. So, but the Space Coast is a great place to work and to live. So I'm going to preach about that all day long and encourage people to move here, especially Coastline 2 being. Man, we're like a couple miles from the ocean, so but it's a great place to go surfing, jet skiing, do all the fun things alongside of ministry, serving here at a vibrant and quickly growing church here at Coastline. So just reach out to Brad.
Yeah.
You're not very hard to find on Instagram.
Brad at the Coastline Church, or on Instagram too.
Or email the church, or maybe look at there might be a link for posting too. So we have Danielle, Brad's better half here to walk us through the lighting system. And Danielle, your role is creative director?
Yeah, creative director here. Pretty much all the visuals with Pro Presenter, any slides, graphics, any video editing, also lighting, background, motion backgrounds for Sunday, any, welcome slides, stuff like that. So just pretty much anything on stage that's visual.
Cool. Well, let's take a kind of walk through your lighting system. Maybe just kind of show us the different categories of fixtures you have. So looking at the front lighting, you guys can see on the truss right in front of me, looks like it's made up primarily of Fresnel wash lights, and it produces a nice, pretty even wash across the stage.
And then we have the band uplights.
Chauvet strike savers.
And then if we just add a few different things, we add, the band wash. We have certain things for when we have a baptism. We have spotlights that go in certain areas because that's usually where our baptismal will be. So this kind of has this was our Memorial Day setting. So as you can see, all the lights are on, and I can change the colors of the lights. So for example, the R2 wash colors, which are the lights from the very top, they're red right now. But you can change the intensity from 100 down to 10%, depending on how bright you want them.
What are those bars above the LED wall?
So those are the PIX M bars, and those can also be, changed color intensity. They can be made kind of a rainbow color where each one's different. There's so much that you can do. So for example, I could change those to, let's make them lavender, or let's make a brighter color, orange. And then I could change the intensity so they're much brighter.
They sweep.
Yeah, and they can move and sweep. There's a bunch of extra
they
stuff
do
that
move.
my lighting guy can do. That's a lot more than what I can do, but.
Got it.
And then the ones on the side, we have the Nexus panels, which are on the bottom right now. And those can be put anywhere. Those can be put from up top, on the side. We have them on the edge of the stage. And it's just the same thing. Again, I can change the colors and intensities, so we can make those green. Those can also be, kind of like a ombre color, which we do a lot, like a fading in from green to blue.
So Martin lighting console doesn't look like the most user-friendly thing to try to approach. But,
What I like,
I'm sure it's powerful.
What I use the most is the touch screen, and that's what I like the most. Is just, these are all presets that we do for each week. So we preset this last week. This is a song list that we did on Sunday.
Let's take a brief look at their LED wall. We looked at the back of the panels. It said Square V V3. That's the model of these panels. 3.9 millimeter pixel pitch, which of course when we're closer to the panel, you can definitely see those pixels, but as you get farther away, and it's probably good, 30-ish feet to the front row of seats there. Or maybe a little bit more, closer to 40 feet, these pixels pretty much disappear, and it does look really great. So have you guys been pretty happy with the results you've been getting
So
with it?
far, we've had great quality, very little, really no problems at all.
And you can see it's probably almost 2 Jakes tall.
2 Jakes tall and 3 Jakes wide.
It's probably 3 Jakes wide or something like that. We actually don't have the exact specs on the length, the height and the width, but you get the idea of me standing next to it. I'm 5'10.5". And then we did see the Novastar processor back there, so that must be what is receiving the video signal from your probably your ROS system.
Correct.
Because you're able to control this from the ROS switcher, goes into the Novastar, gets mapped onto this wall, and voila, you have LED display. And then I saw you guys had some just side projectors on each side of the auditorium. So welcome to their video world. We are one level up from the sound booth that's just down the steps here. So we got Mark, who's going to walk us through what you guys got going on here for video switching. We'll talk about video routing and the cameras as well. What do we got here?
So we've got the Ross Carbonite switcher, and our director sits here. The director actually switches as well. And we have 2 live cameras, 2 live operated cameras down there. And we have a couple of POV cameras, one in the drum cage, one that we move around. It's clipped next to the keyboard right now. Sometimes we put it on the floor looking at guitar players or at a guitar player, music director. So we can ready the different shots and then cut to them. So we have control of what's on the screen.
Okay.
And we can switch to Pro Presenter. So during the sermon, we will unlock this and give complete control to the Pro Presenter operator. Yep. So they're putting verses up there to go along with the pastor's sermon. That's what's going out in live broadcast now. So we could be from a camera. When they go to a verse, we can cut to whatever verse is on the screen.
So during worship, these screens function as iMag, right?
Yeah.
And then, but during the sermon, they're pretty much Pro Presenter screens.
Yes.
Yep. So you're not iMagging the pastor up there.
Yeah, and he doesn't want that. And it's dual purpose, because what we're seeing on this monitor is what's going to broadcast as well. So
Yep.
what goes up on the screens is the same as going to broadcast, because we don't have 2 separate switchers or 2 different operations there.
Definitely recommend most churches have at least like a 2 ME switcher for exactly this purpose, and makes it so flexible what you can throw up on the screens. Who all uses your comm system during a service?
So the director has this on, and his is live all the time. Everyone else is muted. They can push to talk. So he's talking to the engineer, and then the 2 live cameras have the headsets on, so they're listening as well. They don't talk back, obviously, unless it's really important. And if they're asked a question and your camera's not on, you can shake up and down for yes or sideways for no. So you can communicate that way as well. So the engineer is mainly IRCing the 2 cameras. He's responsible for making sure we have space on the drives to record the service.
The AJ Key Pro is the recorder they're using there.
And we do have a waveform monitor. And of these aren't necessarily calibrated monitors for color balance and exposure, but this one is. So while he's irising, he can cut to different cameras, trusted monitor here, and a waveform monitor to dial things in precisely.
We've got JP here. And dude, I'm grateful you reached out to me about a year ago. That's how we connected. I got connected with Coastline and Brad and made new friends here in Florida.
Huge.
So
right now we're using a Slice encoder, and then from Teradek, and then it gets sent to Core Cloud, and we can operate it basically remotely from anywhere. We have a designated room for it, but we can operate it anywhere. And we're sending out to 3 different places to reach the live stream.
which places?
So we're on YouTube, Facebook, and then we have our own website and app. And the remote control from Core Cloud is really useful.
Core Cloud, is that Teradek software?
It's Teradek's software, yeah. So basically all you need is internet access, and you can log in and you can basically run, turn everything on or turn everything off from anywhere.
Got it. All right, so we are in another closet with a rack and all sorts of gear. This is a Lyntech, Lyntech, remote power controller relay. So this is how you guys turn on and off your lighting fixtures.
Stage lights specifically.
And then here's your brains for the Ross Carbonite. So this is the Carbonite Extreme. So what's in here?
So this is where we basically monitor the stream health. We can monitor YouTube, Facebook, whatever. That's the Core Cloud right there. And this basically is just the whole internet infrastructure for our church. Lots of
networking, the IT. It's kind of like an IT room.
This is the IT room, yeah.
Brad, tell us about the space we're in right now.
So this is a really new addition to the church, and it's a great media lab. We have different color backgrounds. We can do green screen shots. We can adjust the lighting, higher, lower intensity, different angles. We did put some diffusion panels in here from VenueFlex also, just in case we do, let's say, an acoustic set in here. We could do that if we wanted to, but all of our baptism testimonials, pre-service announcements, we tape them all here.
Yeah, it sounds like really nice and treated in here. There's not too much reverb and echo going on. A lot of churches will set up like a video room but not put any acoustic treatment up and then wonder why the audio and the video sound so horrible. Good job getting it treated. And then, you get the Blackmagic 6K cameras. Definitely does the job for a lot of creative videos.
Overhead Sennheisers. A company called Actify Creative helped us to design this video lab.
Nice.
Using an ADI switcher here for power source.
Oh yeah. Oh, you could turn the cameras on and off from
Yep,
there.
you can turn each of the lights. It's a separate power panel.
Clever. Not often, like, I'm not really in the studio integration world, so it's cool to see some of these solutions. Brad, tell us about your recent project doing a worship night, and then you guys actually recorded a song, Awake the Soul in Me, and like that whole, what was that workflow like?
It's the first song we've released from Coastline, which is a big deal for us. We recorded everything here. Actify Creative brought in their cameras. The song came out beautifully. We had a couple guest artists here. John Wilds from Calvary Christian Center. He's also with Bethel Music. He blessed us. And then another artist from London, Noel Robinson from Integrity Music.
Yeah.
If you don't know these guys, check out their music. They're amazing. But,
I was here for that night for the worship night. It was awesome. It was great because I get to just like sit back here and just relax and enjoy it. So.
Right, which is probably rare for you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So they came. We recorded "Awake the Soul in Me." It just came out last week. It charted #4 on Apple iTunes, which wasn't our goal, but it's just a blessing. And we have a couple more songs from that night coming out soon.
Oh,
too.
awesome, cool. Yeah. So the team that did the video recording, they took it back and they did all the editing down. And did they also do the audio as well? Was it the same team, or did you have to?
So the audio for the video was Actify Creative, a very talented guy, Tyler Kirpsack. And the audio recording itself, the studio version, was mixed by Jack Nellis, who's from Elevation Worship.
Oh, cool.
And he just crushed it.
And you pretty much just send those guys the raw stems from the evening?
Yeah, that song was a very interesting hybrid. We recorded in Austin, Texas at Tyler's church. The band, we did sort of Nashville style, like a live band. Did the vocals in LA with a different team, produced with a guy named John Jackson, and then we did the mixing in Charlotte and my lead vocal there.
Man, that's crazy, like how all over the place some of these projects can be with that. But for the music video, that was multi-tracked during the actual worship? Yep,
we recorded it through Dante up to the system John just explained to you. We brought in all the audio signals there, post-mixed it with Actify Creative, and that was the result.
Go to Coastline's accounts or go to, just search Awake the Soul in Me. It's not going to be very hard to find it. Thanks so much, Brad, and the rest of the team for taking us on this tour through Coastline Church. And guys, make sure if you're ever in the beautiful Sunshine State here on the Space Coast, stop by. It is a fun place to be on Sunday mornings. Thanks so much for taking the time to do this.
It was an honor. Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
And guys, if you found it helpful, hit like, share this video with your friends, and we'll see you next time.